Imagine this. You're rushing through a crowded street, late for work, when you spot an elderly woman struggling with her groceries. You hesitate. Helping her means missing your bus, but you stop anyway, carrying her bags to her door. She beams with gratitude, and you feel a quiet glow inside. Later that day, your boss unexpectedly praises your work and hands you a bonus. Coincidence? Or something more? This is where the idea of karma whispers in your ear, the notion that what you put into the world comes back to you, for better or worse. Karma, at its core, is a spiritual principle of cause and effect. Originating in ancient Indian traditions, it suggests that every action, be it a kind word, a selfish choice, or a silent thought, ripples through the universe, shaping your future. It's not just a cosmic tally of good and bad deeds, it's a framework for understanding life's ups and downs. But is it real? Does it truly govern our existence, or is it a comforting story we tell ourselves to make sense of chaos? And if it does work, how exactly does it play out? Immediately, over years, or across lifetimes? In this deep dive into Karma 101, we'll unravel these questions. We'll start by tracing karma's roots in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, where it's more than a buzzword. It's a cornerstone of existence tied to rebirth and liberation. From there, we'll explore how the concept morphed as it traveled across cultures, popping up in Western sayings like, "What goes around comes around," and even echoing in religious teachings far removed from its origins. We'll break down the mechanics. Does karma care more about your intentions or your actions? Can it strike instantly, or does it linger across generations? And what about collective karma? Could a family or nation share a karmic fate? Then we'll tackle the big debate. Is karma a universal law or a psychological trick? We'll look at real-life stories, like the friend who betrays you only to face their own downfall, and weigh them against skepticism. Could it all be coincidence, amplified by our human need to see patterns? Scientists, philosophers, and spiritual leaders will chime in as we sift through the evidence. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of karma, not just as an abstract idea, but as something you can observe in your own life. Whether you see it as a mystical force, a moral guide, or a bit of both, one thing's certain: the question of karma has captivated humanity for millennia. So let's dive in and explore. Is it real, and how does it work? The answers might surprise you, and maybe even change how you move through the world. Karma may have been born in the spiritual crucible of ancient India, but its journey didn't stop there. Like a seed carried by the wind, it spread across continents, taking root in new soils and sprouting in forms both familiar and surprising. While its deepest philosophical roots lie in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, the idea of actions bearing consequences has echoed through cultures worldwide, often wearing a different face but singing a similar tune. Let's explore how karma has been interpreted, reshaped, and lived beyond its origins, revealing its universal appeal and its adaptability. In the West, karma often slips into casual conversation as a shorthand for poetic justice. What goes around comes around, people say, nodding knowingly when a bully gets their comeuppance or a good deed is rewarded unexpectedly. This simplified take strips away the metaphysical layers of reincarnation and cosmic balance found in Eastern traditions, turning karma into a moral boomerang. Swift, satisfying, and decidedly this-worldly. It's less about the soul's journey across lifetimes and more about immediate cause and effect, a folk wisdom that's less theology and more common sense. Yet this distillation still carries the essence of karma. Your actions matter, and they'll find their way back to you. This Western spin isn't entirely disconnected from its roots, though. Christianity, for instance, offers its own karmic echo in Galatians 6:7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Here, the harvest of one's deeds aligns with karma's logic, though it's framed through divine judgment rather than an impersonal, universal law. The parable of the Good Samaritan or the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, further reflects a karmic sensibility. Kindness begets kindness, cruelty begets suffering. While not tied to rebirth, these teachings suggest a moral universe where actions ripple outward and return. a concept that feels karmic in spirit, if not in name. Beyond the Abrahamic traditions, indigenous cultures worldwide have their own parallels. Among the Lakota Sioux, the concept of Wakantanka, the Great Spirit, oversees a world where balance and reciprocity govern life. A hunter who respects the animal he kills, offering thanks and using every part, maintains harmony. One who wastes or takes greedily disrupts it, inviting misfortune. In African Yoruba tradition, the idea of I, the world, reflects a belief that actions toward others, good or bad, shape one's destiny, often enforced by community norms rather than cosmic bookkeeping. These frameworks lack the precise terminology of karma, but share its heartbeat. What you do reverberates, binding individuals to the web of existence. Modern spirituality has also embraced and remixed karma, especially in New Age circles. Here, it's often paired with the law of attraction, where positive thoughts and deeds draw positive outcomes, and negativity breeds more of the same. Books like The Secret or Deepak Chopra's writings frame karma as a tool for personal empowerment. You're not just a passenger in a karmic cycle, but a co-creator of your reality. This version softens the edges of traditional karma, focusing less on past life debts and more on present-day manifestation. It's karma with a self-help twist, accessible to a global audience who might never crack open a Buddhist sutra. Even in secular spaces, karma pops up as a cultural meme. Think of viral Reddit threads on instant karma, a rude driver cutting someone off only to get stuck in traffic, or a thief tripping mid-escape. These stories, often laced with humor or schadenfreude, show how deeply the idea has seeped into the collective psyche. It's not about reincarnation or spiritual purity here, it's about the universe winking at us, delivering a quick lesson in humility. Across these interpretations, Western sayings, religious parallels, indigenous wisdom, New Age spins, and pop culture, karma adapts without losing its core. It's a mirror held up to human behavior, reflecting the belief that we're not isolated actors, but part of a larger dance. Whether it's a cosmic ledger, a divine harvest, or just life's way of keeping score, the thread remains. Actions have weight, and the scales eventually balance. As we move into how karma supposedly works, these cultural lenses remind us that while the details shift, the question persists. Do our deeds truly shape our fate, wherever we call home? If karma is the universe's way of keeping score, how exactly does it tally the points? Is it a swift slap on the wrist or a slow burn across lifetimes? Does it care more about what you meant to do or what you actually did? And what happens when your actions tangle with those of others? Unpacking the mechanics of karma is like peering under the hood of a cosmic engine, complex, mysterious, and debated across centuries. Let's break it down, step by step, to see how this ancient principle is thought to tick. First up, intent versus action. In many traditions, karma isn't just about what you do, it's about why you do it. In Buddhism, for instance, the mind is the starting line. A deliberate act of kindness, driven by compassion, plants a seed of positive karma, while an accidental good deed might carry less weight. Conversely, if you harm someone unintentionally but without malice, like stepping on a bug you didn't see, the karmic fallout could be minimal. The Dhammapada, a key Buddhist text, puts it bluntly. What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Intention, then, is the fuel. Actions are the vehicle. Hinduism echoes this, with the Bhagavad Gita suggesting that selfless acts, done without attachment to outcomes, generate purer karma than those steeped in ego. But it's not unanimous. Jainism takes a stricter stance, viewing karma as a physical substance that sticks to the soul based on deeds alone, intent or not. So is karma a judge of character or a blind accountant? It depends on who's telling the story. Next, there's the question of timing. Does karma hit like lightning, or does it simmer like a slow-cooked stew? Pop culture loves instant karma. Think of the jerk who cuts in line only to spill their coffee seconds later. In real traditions, though, the timeline's more elastic. Hinduism and Buddhism tie karma to reincarnation, where today's actions might bloom in your next life, or even centuries down the road. You could be paying off a debt from a past incarnation right now, say a string of bad luck tracing back to a forgotten betrayal. Then there's prarabdha karma, the portion of your past deeds ripening in this lifetime, like fruit falling from a tree you planted long ago. But it's not all delayed gratification. Some effects are immediate, a harsh word sparking an argument, a generous tip brightening your day. The flexibility of this time frame keeps karma dynamic. It's both a sprint and a marathon, depending on the deed and the destiny. What about when karma gets collective? Can a group, a family, a community, a nation share the load? Traditional texts hint at this. In Hinduism, a family might inherit the karmic residue of an ancestor's actions, like a generational echo. Think of a lineage prospering after a forebear's charity, or struggling under a curse tied to old misdeeds. Buddhism extends this further with Sangha, community karma, where a group's collective behavior, like monks living harmoniously, shapes their shared future. Modern examples abound too. A company's unethical practices tanking its reputation, or a nation grappling with the fallout of historical wrongs. Collective karma blurs the lines of individual responsibility, suggesting we're all threads in a larger tapestry, tugging and being tugged by the whole. So how does this all play out? Spiritual law or psychological trick? The mystical view sees karma as a universal system, an invisible ledger balanced by forces beyond our grasp. Every thought, word, and deed sends out energy, and the cosmos responds in kind, whether through rebirth or subtle shifts in this life. But flip the lens, and karma looks like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Psychologists might argue it's about perception. Help someone, feel good, and notice more positivity. Hurt someone, feel guilt, and see the world darken. Confirmation bias could amplify this. We're wired to spot patterns, so a good deed followed by luck feels like karma, while random misfortune gets ignored. Neuroscience backs this up. Our actions shape our brain's wiring, making kindness a habit that pays off internally. No cosmic intervention needed. Picture this. You snap at a coworker, then stub your toe an hour later. Karma. Maybe it's the universe settling the score, or maybe your agitation made you clumsy. Now imagine you donate to a stranger and later find a $20 bill. Divine reward, or just heightened awareness of life's little wins. The mechanics of karma straddle this line, part mystery, part mirror. Whether it's a law etched in the stars or a reflection of our inner world, its gears keep turning, driven by intent, stretched across time, and woven into the collective. As we ponder its reality next, one thing's clear. Karma's machinery, however it works, keeps us wondering about the weight of our every step. So, is karma real? It's the million-dollar question that's lingered since ancient sages first pondered the ripples of human action. For some, it's as undeniable as gravity, a force shaping lives with quiet precision. For others, it's a comforting myth, a story we tell to tame life's chaos. To wrestle with this, we'll sift through the evidence, tales of karmic justice, the cold eye of science, and the tug-of-war between belief and doubt. Buckle up, the jury's still out, and the verdict might depend on where you stand. Start with the stories, because if karma's real, it leaves footprints. Take Sarah, a single mom who once gave her last $50 to a homeless man. Weeks later, a stranger paid her overdue rent, no strings attached. Or consider Mark, who cheated a friend out of a business deal only to lose twice as much in a scam the next year. These anecdotes pile up like breadcrumbs. The bully who crashes his car after tormenting a classmate. The volunteer who lands a dream job after years of quiet service. Across cultures, people swear by these moments, karmic winks that feel too perfect to be random. Spiritual teacher Ram Dass once said, "Everything in your life is there as a vehicle for your transformation." For believers, these aren't flukes, they're proof of a moral universe at work. But stories aren't data, and science steps in with a raised eyebrow. Psychologists point to confirmation bias. We notice when bad things happen to bad people because it fits the narrative, but shrug off when they don't. A 2016 study in cognitive science found humans are wired to see cause and effect patterns even where none exist. Spill your coffee after yelling at your dog, and suddenly it's karma, not clumsiness. Then there's the randomness of life. Good people suffer, jerks prosper, and no cosmic ledger seems to intervene. Statisticians call it regression to the mean. Extreme events balance out over time, no mystical force required. Karma, skeptics argue, might just be our brain stitching meaning into a messy world. Philosophy throws another curveball: free will versus determinism. If karma's real, especially the multi-life kind, are we puppets on strings, paying for choices we don't remember? Hinduism and Buddhism say no. Your actions shape the script, even if the stage is set by past deeds. But critics like philosopher Daniel Dennett counter that a deterministic universe, karmic or not, undermines true agency. If every stubbed toe traces back to some ancient slight, where's the room to choose? Yet believers flip this. Karma empowers us, making every moment a chance to rewrite the future. It's a deadlock, freedom and fate wrestling in the ring with no clear winner. Voices from the field weigh in too. The Dalai Lama frames karma as a natural law. Happiness and suffering come from your own actions, not from nowhere. It's not punishment, he says, but consequence, like touching a flame and getting burned. Contrast that with neuroscientist Sam Harris, a skeptic who sees morality as evolutionary, not cosmic. We feel karma because cooperation wired us to thrive, not because the universe cares. Meanwhile, everyday folks split the difference. A 2020 Pew survey found 31% of Americans believe in some form of karma, often blending it with faith or intuition rather than strict doctrine. What about the gray zone? Could karma be both real and not? Maybe it's psychological truth masquerading as cosmic law. Act kindly, and your brain's reward system lights up, nudging you toward more good. Lash out, and guilt festers, drawing trouble like a magnet. Studies on pro-social behavior show helping others boosts well-being, while aggression breeds stress, karmic vibes without the metaphysics. It's a feedback loop. Your deeds shape your world, not through divine accounting, but through human nature. So is karma real? The evidence is a kaleidoscope, glimmering tales of justice, shattered by science's lens, then reassembled by philosophy and personal conviction. It might be a universal truth, a mental shortcut, or a bit of both. Picture a thief who repents, helps others, and finds peace. Karma or just growth? The answer hinges on what you see. A cosmos that balances the scales, or a mind that insists they do. As we wrap up, one thing's certain. Whether karma's a law or a legend, it keeps us asking, do our actions echo beyond the moment? Karma is a thread that weaves through human history, a concept as old as our quest to understand why life unfolds the way it does. From its ancient roots in India, where it's a cosmic law tying actions to rebirth, to its echoes in Western proverbs, indigenous wisdom, and modern spirituality, karma wears many faces. We've traced its journey across cultures, unpacked its mechanics, intent, timing, and collective weight, and wrestled with its reality, pitting heartfelt stories against scientific skepticism. What emerges isn't a tidy answer, but a mirror. Karma reflects our deepest hopes, fears, and questions about justice, agency, and connection. Through this exploration, we've seen karma's diversity. It's the Hindu soul cycling through lifetimes, the Buddhist mind planting seeds for tomorrow, the casual, what goes around comes around of a coffee shop chat. Its mechanics, whether driven by intent or action, instant or eternal, suggest a world where nothing's wasted, where every choice ripples outward. And the debate over its truth. It's a tug-of-war between the believer who sees a thief's downfall as payback and the skeptic who calls it coincidence. Maybe karma's both, a spiritual force and a human lens, a law of the universe and a story we live by. What does it mean to you? That's where this lands. For me, karma feels like a quiet compass. I've noticed how a snapped word lingers, souring my day, while a small kindness, like holding a door, lifts it. Is that the cosmos at work, or just my mind tying knots? I lean toward the latter, but can't shake the wonder of the former. It's less about proving karma's existence and more about what it inspires. A pause before acting, a nudge to consider the wake we leave behind. Whether it's a mystical ledger or a moral instinct, karma invites us to own our role in life's dance. So here's your call. Watch your own world for a week. Note what you do, big or small, and what follows. Help a stranger, snap at a friend, let a thought simmer. What shifts? You might spot instant karma in a spilled drink or a lucky break, or sense something deeper brewing. No need to settle the debate, just observe. Because if karma's real, it's not in the arguing, it's in the living. And if it's not, it still might make you a better neighbor. Either way, the question lingers: what will you set in motion today?